Hello and welcome to Redtail Sorento's fourth blog. He has now been to his first horse show at Chattahoochee Hills. We were entered in the Young Event Horse 4-year-old class the first weekend and the beginner novice. And the second weekend, we were entered in the Young Event Horse as well. I was hoping this would be a great opportunity for him to really settle into a venue and be very relaxed for his first horse show, to do one weekend and then the following weekend. The dressage phase for the young event horse was lovely. He was a little inconsistent but scored a 23. We then went to walk the cross-country course and the jump course before the jumping phase started. This was one of the fences on the 4-year-old class. So this was actually the B element of the first combination on the cross-country course. You were meant to jump a ramp type jump, go up the mound and then down the mound, and this was the out of the combination. I thought it was a really interesting question to ask the 4-year-olds to jump a fence like this. The show jumping footing was not ideal. That's an understatement. We slid into a few of the things. Not my first choice footing-wise for him at his first experience. He was really unfortunately lost a decent amount of confidence in the show jumping, and the first cross-country fence was bright blue and a lovely shaped jump, but the color and I think sliding into some of the show jumping fences was a lot for him. In retrospect, I wish, honestly, that I had jumped a fence or two and then actually retired. He doesn't have an issue here with the actual fence. I think he was genuinely afraid of the footing there. Here we're getting a little recovery in. We actually did get eliminated in the young event horse. We did not make it around to many of those cross-country items there. It was an experience for us. I would say that footing contributed to Bruno losing a decent amount of his confidence. So we have the beginner novice the next day, and it will be hopefully a good opportunity to just school and get him back out there. That's my hope anyway. I don't think he's ever done cross country in footing like what he experienced the day prior, so my goal is to give him a really nice warm-up for the beginner novice and hope he's feeling really great. His beginner novice dressage test for me was even better than the test the day prior. He was more comfortable in the arena. He was more relaxed. He was a really good listener. He was very focused. I was very pleased with how he did overall in the dressage. And despite some inconsistency in the bridle, he's really listening. Here is our second attempt on the cross country. He warmed up really well until someone else got bucked off and someone's horse collided with him. So overall, he lost a lot of confidence and then became a little bit naughty. Here you can see, this is fence 2. So I'm just letting him go check out the jump. He's a very brave horse, and I say that as he stops at this jump. But I think here our issue is a lack of confidence that occurred the day before, and we're going away from home, and he was stressed in the warm-up. So a lot of times with young horses, it's not a bravery issue as much as it is training. I do actually, speaking of training, teach them all to stand in a bucket of ice. I think it's a good thing to learn. He's very tired after his really strenuous cross-country course that he didn't get to complete again. My plan is to school the cross-country on Sunday and to just try to build up some of this confidence. We're here. It's a lovely venue. We've paid the money. We might as well use this as a schooling opportunity. I was able to take a lesson with a friend of mine to help me get some pointers and some tips on things that I could do just to keep him a little bit under my thumb. Being a very bold and confident horse, he can get away with some stuff, and I think that's part of what's going on here, is he's just kind of experimenting with what he can get away with, especially after really losing his confidence over the first course. So we were able to take advantage of a cross-country schooling at Chattahoochee on Sunday, and then I actually took him off property to Poplar Place Farm in the area to practice some cross-country, and he did really well there. Our second test, or I should say third test, we moved from the beginner novice, or from the young event horse actually, to the beginner novice class. I just felt like the young event horse was maybe not set up well. The course was not. I didn't agree with, that first blue fence for the young event horse, so I moved him into the beginner novice. He show jumped actually first at the beginner novice in this second weekend. And that was probably really good for his confidence to just get out and jump some things. He was a little sassy about this fence number 2, which I can't blame him. It's a little spooky. We're jumping towards the crowd up there. But the whole rest of the show jumping course I was really pleased with. He's a very bold, brave little horse, and he doesn't always take instruction very well. Like I said earlier, I think that's a contributing factor to his naughtiness on cross country. He's not incredibly interested in my input all the time. And then when he gets overfaced or is a little nervous or has another horse actually run into him in warm-up or slips into the first jump, I think that's where, I just need to establish with him that I'm the boss, and regardless, he needs to trust me and jump the jumps. So that's kind of been our takeaway from the first weekend, and we are putting it to use here in the second weekend in the beginner novice. That one rail and a little opinions about having a rail. He really does want to jump clean. The cross country did go a whole lot better. He jumped the questions really lovely. He got very excited about the cross country, and I've included some of the video here. This is the first jump, us leaving the start box, leaving the friends. We tried to dial things back. My lesson was super helpful. I just wanted to slow things down so that I could be the boss of every stride, every step. I take the opportunity to go slowly on this course, and I let him school the water here. This is towards the end of the course. But I did feel like, again, this water question was a little bit severe maybe for beginner novice. This was also the question that was on the 4-year-old class both weekends. Here I'm having to circle actually because I'm getting past. We went really slowly, but it actually was a great confidence builder for him. He did very well. He had a little issue at the ditch, but we made it through okay. Considering the previous weekend, he wasn't super willing to jump a single jump or leave his warm-up friends. This was a huge improvement. So here we have the first jump into the water, a flagged water, and then a jump out of the water. And there's a good bit of distance between the jumps, but I can't remember any other courses where beginner novice has had water-to-water jumps. So I felt like that was maybe a big ask. It rode great, but that's also why I went and schooled the water first. Here he's just getting a little strong. He feels very confident. He feels like he's done an awesome job, which he has. But those are just some of the things that we're working on with him. I was pretty pleased with the way the weekend ended. Bruno finished the cross country really confident, and he'd learned a lot about taking input from his rider and being brave to the fences. It's never fun when you show up to a horse show and your young horse tries something new for the first time, but we were able to work through it thanks to some coaching and a really good horse show setup with horse shows each weekend. I'd heard about, the jumps being kind of thrown together at the last minute for the young event horse classes, and I do feel like that's a little bit what happened this weekend. I would like to go to a few more before I pass my final judgment on them. Hopefully we can have some good experiences going forward.